So guys, raise your hand if you ever feel like you got a list that's a mile long of things that you know are important and you want to get to them someday, but you never seem to be able to because there's always something else that's in the way. And you fall into that what we call tyranny of the urgent at the expense of what's really important. Happens to all of us. Welcome to running a business. That's how it goes. Guys, you know that every week we jump in here to help you do things to help you get more leads, close more sales, or improve your profitability. And usually we're pretty tactical and we give you some real hard hitting strategies, things you can just implement right away. And that's usually where my focus has been. But today I wanted to change it up just a little bit and zoom out a little bit and go more meta, if that's all right. Because this is something that I hear a lot from a lot of the contractors I talk to is that they're just so involved in just the running of everything every day that they have this ever growing list of just things. Wow, wouldn't it be great if we could get to this thing or we could do this? And I wanted to help reframe ways you can help unlock and get through breaking what's keeping you from making those things happen that you know you really want to get to someday, which by the way, someday is not a day of the week. So we want to be able to help with some grease on that. So here's the thing. I'm going to borrow this quick concept. Maybe you've heard of this book. It's from Dan Sullivan, where it's called 10x is easier than 2x. And what that is really driving at, there's a couple ways he applies that concept in his book to different areas of life. But in our case, how I want you to think about that as it relates to your business is sometimes we think of or get focused on ways to make incremental improvements. Even that's just 10% better here, 5% better there, that's fine. Or even just saying, and I hear this again all the time when I'm talking to contractors, as we're trying to assess what their vision is for their business over the next couple of months or even the next year. We'll find out what the revenue was last month or last year. And we think, well, hey, what would you like to get it to? And the very quick answer I get 9 times out of 10 is, hey, I just want to double it. I want to go from 1 million to 2 million. I want to go from 500,000 to 1 million. I want whatever that number is. And I think that's fine. And we tend to think about, hey, doubling would be great. That's an easy, quick answer. But in a lot of ways, we aren't thinking about how to get 10x. And why that's helpful and how it's going to help you get to where you want to go faster is to really 10x your business. A lot bigger and more bold and aggressive things have to happen for you to go from where you are now to 10 times where you are. And if we spend just enough time taking and making the time, thinking of what kinds of things would have to happen to achieve that type of outcome and focus there, we're going to get a lot faster results than if we're only thinking of things that feel safer and feel more comfortable to only double the business instead. And again, what do we do about how to try to figure out where are we ever going to get to that list of things? So I'm going to give you just a couple of quick questions to help give you permission to do the thing that you as the business owner can uniquely do for the business, something that nobody else in your company is likely doing to the degree that you certainly can and should be. So that's your job as the owner. So I'm going to walk you through just a quick exercise here. And as we go through this, all right, hang on with me. And as I've got 4 questions, and as we go through each one, take the time and pause after the first one. Just take 1 to 2 minutes and just jot down the answers to the questions that as they stack on each one of these, and we'll walk through why that's helpful at the end. All right, so let's do a quick screen share and get you going, because I hear you. Life is busy. We get it stuck in this stuff, but we've got to find a way to break out of it at some point. Okay, so here's the first question. What if you had just one day to focus on those 10x things? Give yourself the gift of exploring that possibility of what would it be like if you did just have one entire day to focus on only the things that would 10x your business in the next, you decide the time frame, year, 2 years, doesn't matter, however long. Okay, if you're watching this, take a minute, pause the video, and then once you've got a few things written down, then you can start it up again. All right, so assuming you've just unpaused it, let's go to the next one. Because I know that usually what comes next when we think about this question is, okay, well, yeah, sure, that sounds nice, but I'll never be able to do it because I'm just way too busy. My calendar's jammed. I got a million things to do. Okay, so let's get past that. Question number 2 is, what would have to happen for you to free yourself up for just one day? And nobody else in your company gets to make these decisions or gets to call these shots. is my guess. Let me know if I'm wrong. That's usually what I hear with everybody I talk to all the time. So what would have to happen? Even if it feels difficult, but let's just define it and know what it is. What are those things? Maybe it's aligning your schedule with your subs so that they are fully lined out for the day. Maybe it's, again, adjusting some of the scheduling that you've got so that you are able to move some of the things that have to happen on let's just say it's Friday is going to be the day you want to pick. Look at what you typically do every single Friday. How can you move those things around, delegate them, or delay them, whatever that needs to happen, so that the things that typically happen on, if you want to use a Friday for this day, whatever day you want, whatever day works best, or you can just clear one full day to dedicate to making it a 10x day. All right, pause the video, get some things down, actually take the time, 60 seconds, even if it's just 60 seconds, just brainstorm and fleet flow what those defined things are that have to happen for you to make space for a 10x day. All right, assuming that you have unpaused because you've got something written down, don't skip this. All right, let's get into the next one. Okay, now we've given ourselves a little bit of clearing the blockage of what would have to happen and what needs to take place. Now, what would you want to focus on? Yeah, write them down. Let's get them clear. Not only focus on what you want to use that time for, but by the time the day is done, you can look at it and say, you can point things you can point to and say, this is finished. I finally got this email campaign done. I finally got this SOP written out so that I don't have to spend all this time training guys or going back with my subs or my team. What are the things that just you eventually want to get to someday, but it's time to just be able to leave the room or wherever you go to have this 10x day and go up. Okay, it's finished. It's done. Got it. What are those things that when you leave, you're going to feel really, really excited about, really proud about, and know it's going to move the needle significantly for your business when it's done? It could be a marketing thing, could be sales, could be just process operations, could be just things that it could be finally delegating some of these things to someone that you can free yourself up, whether it's someone on your team or outsourcing it, whatever the case may be. Let's get clear into what those things are. So again, things that really get you some juice. So again, pause this, take 1 to 2 minutes, just jot them down. They're probably more top of mind, but get them down on paper so they're committed. Okay. Another way to frame this, okay, if you've unpaused and got a few things down, another way to help get you a little bit more depth. What are those things that if you find yourself thinking, hey, if I only had time, I would, what is that? Now, if you've got folks on your team that you want to involve in this 10x day, here's a little tip, send this to them. Get their buy-in, get their perspective on how they see the business, start to invite them to think about business in this way and the things that they're doing with the ways they're spending their time. So you can start to get some insights as to the opportunities that maybe you're not as close to because you got them doing other things involved in the business. You want to be able to see how they're thinking. This will also be a really good way for you to identify your A players versus your B or C or D level players. Okay. If you want this quick, simple doc, let me know. I'll send it over to you. Hopefully you've been able to just jot them down yourself. Take the time. Again, we've gone through this exercise in only just a handful of minutes, but we've at least given you permission, given you a structure, given you something committed that's going to allow you to start to move to the 10x day. So I want to know when you're going to do it, when it's going to happen. Let me know when you got it booked, when you're going to make that happen, because it's going to be the thing that's going to give you the most leverage to really start to change the trajectory of your business. Again, normally we spend this time each Thursday getting into some specific tactics, but I wanted to, again, give you just a little bit of a framework that you can use to help elevate. And one of the things I'm really excited about, we're going to be doing this with our clients live in person. And if you're able to or happen to be in the Utah area, love to. I've got a couple of guest passes I'm going to make available. This is going to be mainly a client only event, but I've got a couple of guest passes if you're able to join us in person. I'm also working on having a virtual one for those of you that can't make it here in person. So if that sounds interesting to you, let me know. I think you'll find that we want to create an environment where we really can not only have the space to get these 10x things done, but also use the leverage and advantage of having other business owners, other contractors together so that you can start to share perspectives and help shed insights and help to be able to give real momentum to these things that we know we want to get done, but we just never seem to be able to because of all the stuff that's just hitting you all the time, every day. So hope this has been helpful. We'll see you next week, guys. I'm really, again, I guess last I had to mention, I'm really just geeking out over tomorrow because again, tomorrow is going to be the first ever Contractors Who Care event. Again, if you're able to join us in Salt Lake City tomorrow from 5 to 8 p.m., I'd love to see you there. If you can't make it in, I've got other ways to give you information on how you can help support. We're doing this all to help support Tabitha's Way. It's a food pantry that I've been volunteering with for a while. Just love what they're doing. And this is just a way for us to get together and help support them in a bigger way than just showing up and doing some shifts. So excited about what's happening there. Again, let me know if you need more information on that, or you'll find it somewhere else in the group. I know I've been talking about it a little bit here and there. So make it a good rest of your Thursday, and we will see you next week.